Hey guys, Demi here. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about my 10 hacks when traveling to Japan. Para sa mga hindi pa nakakapunta ng Japan, this video is for you. And I hope you can share to your friends who are planning to go on a trip to Japan. So before I get into this video, I hope you guys have already subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. So let's just get right to it. Alright, first things first, how to get Wi-Fi. When you think of Japan, you think that it's super high-tech and it's so easy to get Wi-Fi, but actually it's quite difficult. A lot of my friends who visit Japan, the first thing that they do is rent a pocket Wi-Fi at the airport. If you're arriving and departing from the same airport, then it would be really convenient to just rent a pocket Wi-Fi there. An alternative to that though is getting Wi-Fi from your Airbnb. A lot of Airbnbs in Japan offer pocket Wi-Fis as part of their services. A possible problem with that might be the limit of their pocket Wi-Fi, because each Airbnb has different pocket Wi-Fi plans, so you might have to confirm with your Airbnb host about that. But if you can't rent from the airport and your Airbnb doesn't have it, or you're not staying at an Airbnb, most train stations have free Wi-Fi. Pero kung katulad niyo yung nanay ko na hindi masyadong magaling pagdating sa mga pagko-connect ng Wi-Fi and stuff, baka ma-hassle pa kayo mag-connect. I really do just recommend getting Wi-Fi at the airport. So when I first came to Japan, it was quite overwhelming in terms of transportation. For like a month, I was getting lost constantly, and what saved me is this app I have on my phone, which is called Japan Travel. I tell all my friends who are visiting Japan to download this app. It will save your life. People here also use Google Maps, but I prefer using Japan Travel sometimes over Google Maps because it has more options. I can filter my search results more than what I can do on Google Maps. And an important thing when traveling in Japan, I really do recommend getting an IC card. So I have two IC cards over here. This type is called the Pasmo and this type is called the Suica. They're basically the same. Basically, maglo-load ka lang, tas itatap mo kapag magbabayad ka for trains, for buses, convenience stores, restaurants. It has so many uses. A lot of places use them. And another reason why I do recommend them is because it's just easier to manage your money. So there's just so many coins here in Japan, and it just accumulates. Like, an easy way to just avoid getting coins is using these cards. One thing you should know when you come to Japan is that transportation is the most expensive thing you're going to pay for when you come here. Like, the minimum you have to pay for trains here is around 140-ish, and that's around 70 pesos. Minimum yun ah. Hindi katulad sa atin, kapag nag-jeep ka, 7 pesos, 8 pesos. Don't even get me started on the taxis. Just don't get on a taxi in Japan. Minimum fare for taxis here is around 720 yen, which is around 360 pesos. Taxi ko na yun from Makati to Quezon City, guys. So, if you're thinking about renting a car and driving around Japan, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're going to the countryside, because if you stay in the city, public transportation is really convenient, and I just don't see why you need to drive a car. When's the best time to visit Japan? It really depends on what you want to do. I would say any time would be a great time to visit Japan, maybe except for the rainy season, which is around June, July-ish. Right now. Don't visit Japan right now. So let's talk about each season. When summer kicks in, it gets really hot. Akala mo mainit na sa Pilipinas, guys. Mainit sa Japan. Akala ko nung una nabibiro yung mga tao dito na mainit. Parang ako, Pilipino ko, kaya ko yung summer sa Japan. Guys, lala. It's so bad. If you're planning to come to Japan during summer, I wouldn't recommend the beaches unless you're going to Okinawa. Medyo biased ako kasi, alam niyo na, Pilipinas is still the best pagdating sa beaches. Oh, right. Yeah. One of the reasons people come to Japan during the summer is to hike Mount Fuji, because hiking season for Mount Fuji is only during the summertime. If you want to check that off your bucket list, then summer is the time to visit Japan. My favorite season for traveling around Japan is definitely autumn. I really love watching the momijis. A lot of people go to the parks during autumn here, and also there's a bunch of seasonal food.
Chestnuts, persimmons, apples, sweet potatoes, Asian
Purs. What? There's just a lot of good food in Japan during autumn season. So if you want to go here for a food trip, definitely autumn is your go-to season. Next, if you want to do some winter sports, people go to Nagano, to Hokkaido for skiing, snowboarding. If you're not the type who is into winter sports like me, then you might enjoy going to the hot springs. There's a bunch of hot springs around Tokyo. The most famous place that's full of onsens would be Hakone. Hakone is in Kanagawa Prefecture, and it's pretty easy to get to from Tokyo. And it's really nice if you go to one of those outdoor hot springs because your body would be submerged in this nice warm water, and then your head would just be cooled by the, winter air. It's really nice. And finally, the busiest season when a lot of tourists just visit Japan is spring. Spring in Japan is really famous because of the cherry blossoms. What you need to know about cherry blossom season is that it goes by really quickly. So you have to travel at the right time. Check the cherry blossom forecast. Yes, they do have those. Just type in Google and you'll see the cherry blossom forecast. So depending on when you visit Japan, remember to dress accordingly. This is really important because the weather here can be quite drastic, so do check the weather forecast when you come here. I would say in summer, bring at least one cardigan because people really blast the ACs during this time. The trains get pretty cold and then you leave the trains and it's like really hot. Autumn is like the perfect season for dressing up in layers. Winter is just freezing cold. Bring gloves, bring a scarf, bring everything you think you need to bring because you probably need it. When you visit in spring, anticipate that it's going to be warm in the daytime and really, really chilly at night. Oh, and an important thing, hide your tattoos. Tattoos still have a bad rep in Japan, mostly because of the Japanese mafia or the Yakuza. A lot of hot spring establishments do not welcome people who have tattoos. Even if you're a foreigner and even if you're obviously not part of the Japanese mafia, they would still not allow you to enter their establishment. They just don't, okay? So if you're trying to communicate with Japanese people, I would say beware of Google Translate. This is mostly because translations in Google Translate most of the time do not make sense, sound strange, and can possibly offend people if you're not careful with what you type in. If you're in central Tokyo, there are a couple of people who can speak English in establishments. Most people in hotels do speak English. Restaurants, 50-50. So going to my next tip, know at least some basic phrases or words in Japanese, and that will get you a long way. Some Japanese get intimidated when you talk to them in English, but if you're obviously trying to speak to them in Japanese, they are more likely to listen to you and try to help you. They get intimidated by English speakers because they're afraid that they're saying something wrong, so they'd rather you say something wrong in Japanese knowing that you're trying to communicate with them than vice versa. It's also important to understand their culture, such as being quiet on the trains and walking on the left side of the escalators. It's those simple things. So let's just continue having a good reputation when visiting. Next tip is if you're trying to save money, I would recommend eating convenience store food, shopping at 100 stores, and going grocery shopping after 4 p.m. Japanese convenience stores are the best. They're like the ultimate convenience stores.
What convenience stores are meant to be.
Yeah, sorry. That was a bit much, wasn't it? Convenience stores have quite a selection of food if you want to save up on food expenses. 100 stores or 100 yen shop stores are really amazing. If you lost your earphones and you need some cheap replacement, you can go to a 100 store and buy it. If you want chopsticks, if you want souvenirs, birthday cards, or whatever, 100 stores have a selection of things that you didn't really think you needed, but you actually need it. It's like a treasure chest of random shit. And only for 100 yen. Plus tax, so that's 108 yen. And I recently told my friends about this. If you want to save on food expenses a bit more, but you don't want to buy convenience store food, you can go to the grocery stores after around 4 p.m. because that's when they put their food items on sale. And another hack for buying souvenirs, I definitely recommend shopping at Don Quixote. I actually made a video recently about that, so if you haven't seen that, you can just click up here. The awesome thing about Don Quixote is that it's really cheap and they have a selection of items you can choose from, and if you buy more than 5,000 yen, you can get them tax-free. You just bring your passport and the receipt on the same day at the same branch and you can get those items tax-free. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned a thing or two, and I hope this helps you when you come to Japan. If you did like this video, please give this a thumbs up and also share it with your friends if they're planning or if they want to visit Japan. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!